Hey everyone, this is Proudly Peedles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. Hello, and Happy New Year.
You as well. Glad to be back, finally.
Yeah.
There was a lot of circumstances leading up to the big, long space between episodes.
Yes.
A lot of things happened.
Yes, a lot of things happened. I think that is a good way of putting it.
Hopefully, in the new year, things will be back to semi-normal with my schedule and everything else, and we'll be. I can't promise we'll be every week, but at least every other week. I'm aiming for every week, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. So far, for me, the new year has almost felt like a Drac year.
Yeah, that's pretty much from what I know what's going on. Yeah. You have hung out with me too much, and the RNG Black Crowd curse has flown above your house. I apologize for that. It's what happens when people hang out with me.
Well, let's go and see what's in the news this week. And I hear that we have some previews for update 1 for update 58 preview 1, and that was posted on Wednesday, and it looks like that we are going to have archetypes.
We do, yeah. Update 58 is on Lamannia now through Friday, January 20th. So probably by the time this episode's releases, the preview will be over. Hopefully you still have time to get on the preview, but if not, there is going to be another preview. They have stated there will be several previews. Update 58 has a lot of stuff, but yeah, there are 2 new archetypes. They said there is probably going to be more. They were very vague about that, so I'm guessing there's going to be some more archetypes involved.
They said they're a bit more clear in the notes themselves, where they said 2 of the 3.
Okay, yes. I didn't. Oh, yep. I missed that part of the note. I was just going by what Cordovan had said on his last Friday show, which he does Friday shows now, not Wednesdays, if you were confused about that.
He's really busy then on Fridays on internet stuff, because at noon he has Lotro stream.
He does Fridays at 4 now instead of the weekly Wednesday live stream. So.
Oh, all right. Because it sounds like that because Scenario was doing this Wednesday.
Okay. Yes. So
or on the Lotro side for his Mordor thing. So that's probably why he's probably then gave it up to occasional.
So if you're missing weekly Wednesday live streams, they are no more. It is now Fridays at 4. So anyway, okay, but that's neither here nor there. Update 58 preview 1 does include 2 archetypes, which we're going to talk about in a second. One of them I am foaming at the mouth over, but
I can imagine.
We'll let you guess which one that is. There is some other things in here, but yes, it does say, if I would have read the notes early, I would have seen it says a early look at 2 of the 3 new archetypes are available in this preview. They want you to try them out and let them know in their respective feedback threads over on the Lamannia boards to see what's working, what's not working, blah, blah, blah. Keep in mind, this is the first preview, so nothing is set in stone yet. Some things will change, yada, yada, yada. The standard Lamannia warning that.
I wonder if they'll have a pine leaf type archetype for the third one.
Maybe. But yes, somebody at SSG lives inside of my heads and my thoughts, apparently. Because the one new archetype just screams Drac all over it.
I know. I read that. What?
We do have a new druid archetype. It's the Blight Caster. We'll go into these in detail here in a second. We're going to talk about some other stuff in this patch first. And then the one I'm most excited about is the new Ranger one, which is called the Dark Hunter. So more on that in a minute.
Of the 2, I was thinking, would I want to try a Blight Caller or Caster or not? And of course, today I said, I'm too much fun with the spells and with the Storm Singer. What am I going to change right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about the Blightcaster too, but not as much as the Dark Hunter.
Yeah,
But
I know.
man.
Dark Hunter is you.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about some of the other changes before we talk about those two. Once again, keep in mind all this is Lamannia for now. None of this you can find live in game. We're just gonna kind of go over some of these. You can find the full Lamannia notes linked over in the show notes for this episode. There's a lot of stuff in here. Level 32 augments are now going to grant the correct amount of type and elemental resistance. The first core of Tiefling and Tiefling Scoundrel is going to grant a +5 spell power again. Primal Avatar, Mantle of Nature, Thorn now has its correct tooltip on the buff bar. There's quite a few of those tooltip fixes in here. Negative Energy Burst no longer consumes spell resistance charges when cast by undead players. Yeah, that's mainly the major ones. Like I said, there's quite a few of the bug fixes. Go over, read the full show notes. There is some other changes they're making. Smoke Bomb's SP cost has been reduced to 6 SP. I'm not sure what it is now because I don't ever use Smoke Bomb, so don't know how much spell power it is now, but that's changing. The Destiny Feat Spirit Blades now has faster casting time, faster projectile speed, and better homing. The Warlock base Eldritch Blast dice are now 1d8. Base Pack dice, 1d6. Single target basic Eldritch Blast now scales with 125% spell power. Invigorating Shadow Stance now scales with 150% spell power. Other Eldritch Blast shapes all scale at 100% spell power. And the level 15 Warlock Pack special abilities now scale as if they were spells and modified by bonus spell DCs. My Warlock is excited to hear a lot of these.
All right. Now, smoke bombs. Who uses smoke bombs?
I do believe that is the Alchemist. I do believe. Hold on one second.
Must be a particular branch that play off.
Let me check. Hold on. I should have looked this up because I knew you were going to talk. Ask that. Let me look it up. I was right. It is the it is in the Bombardier tree. And it is the Smoke Bomb SLA. So I was correct. It's
all right.
The Alchemist.
I don't think I used the Bombardier.
Yeah, I have never played an Alchemist, so that's why I said I don't know how many spell points it was. If you know, comment, email, all the fun stuff. Like I said, I don't play an Alchemist. Never have. Probably never will because Dark Hunter Ranger. Anyway. Anyway, more on that to say, I am so excited about this Ranger. You do not understand. There is going to be a new gameplay option in the UI called Show Detailed Chest Information. Default on that is going to start at false. When you change that to true, the first time you touch a chest and you generate its loot, the chest will print out. I like how it says will print out. I can just imagine it's got a little dot matrix printer attached to it and you get like a little printout of some information about its ransack info in your chat log. Although you can see the info. Yeah, I just wanted to have a little dot matrix printer and the little.
So this then is essentially that if you don't run the same dungeon very often,
right,
then the information's not really going to be
if you're really not worried about ransack, you could care less about this. You could just keep that to false and go on about your merry life. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's been a couple dungeons that I ran ad nauseum to try to get named weapons. Grin and bear it. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, yes, I was thinking about a certain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Grin and Bear was the person that
Yeah.
came to my mind.
So yeah, like that. Like I said, if you don't worry about ransack, like if your play style does not involve you having to worry about ransack, I would not worry about this. I mean, I guess you could turn it on if you would like, but it's not going to affect you in the least bit. And then
except when you hear the sound of the dot matrix.
True. Exactly. SSG, make that happen. That would be amazing. At least have the sound effect going. That would be amazing. A series of changes have also been made in tooltip generation. The names of feats and enhancements are now bigger in their tooltips to make it easier to parse what they are. SLA tooltips now display spell info, such as their spell point cost, the spell DC, the spell school, automatically. And certain aspects of enhancements no longer show in the tooltip, such as the prereqs. So if you own an enhancement and you're looking via your character sheet, when hovered over the tree, they will show their AP cost and the prereqs as usual. They are looking at making some changes to character creation as well. Feats now display in a neat category that are easier to parse and sort through. Summary at the bottom of the last stage in the advancement shows you all the feats without category, the category view, I should say, so that you can get just a list of what feats you have without them being condensed under a click block. That would be kind of handy, I guess, if you're doing a specific build or whatever and you need specific feats. So I could see that coming in handy. The collapse expand button up top plays nice with them. So you can collapse all expand with one click. That is a nice quality of life change right there. So instead of having to click each button to collapse or uncollapse it, you can just click one and they'll all collapse or unclap. I like that. I like that a lot. Some other things that are changing on the level up screen. This largely looks exactly the same because the categories here were already visible in the same way they were before.
What?
Okay, let me read that again and tell me how any of this makes sense. The level up screen largely looks exactly the same because the categories here were already visible in the same way they were before. So you changed what? Exactly? I'm confused, but okay.
The summary panel on the following page now also shows the feat as they list assigned category. They get the feat and their items without seeing the category and are no longer.
Yeah. So, okay. But like I said, go over to the show notes, read all the patches. There's a couple other things. There are some known issues. We won't bother talking about them because more than likely by the time you hear this build is not going to be available on Lamannia anymore. So hopefully we can get early enough for build 2 and we can talk about the known issues then. But let's talk about the cool archetypes. Yeah. The first one is going to be the Blightcaster Druid. This is going to be, of course, for the Druid. Duh. This is going to replace Nature's Protector. The themes of this are death, famine, decay, plague, poison, insects, moss, fungus, bleached bones, and scavengers. The summary of the Blightcaster Druid. Death is a necessary part of life. It's a dark take on the Druid that celebrates the cycle of death and decay. The Druid's power still comes from the cycle of nature. It just focuses on the end of that cycle. It sounds kind of cool, actually. Like I said, I'm interested in this one too. Level 1, you get to meet disease immunity. Level 2, wild shape, a plague wolf. And then it says, note all wild shapes are using placeholder art at the moment in the build. So I'm assuming we're going to get a cool looking wolf.
Yeah.
That's going to look probably pretty amazing. The basic wolf form is replaced by the plague wolf. You can transform into a magically diseased wolf. plus 10 combat style bonus to attack speed, and a plus 3 bonus to attack when flanking, plus 10 enhancement bonus to movement speed, and while you're in wolf form, you will gain access to a number of spells and enhancements that does require you to be in wolf form, but the cooldowns on your non-animal form spells are increased to 2.5 times their normal length. Ouch.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
And then at level 4, you get another wild shape called Thornkin. You create a suit of living thorny wood around your body, armoring you from harm. Note this will be a gear set override instead of an animal form, so that the player will fight with their regular weapons. Basically, you become a knight in plate mail made of wooden thorns. Which that sounds kind of interesting too. And then the other wild shape is called Hive Keeper. You give part of yourself to the hive, gaining insect-like reflexes and senses. Your bodily fluids become poisonous to others, and the swarm is always close. So that sounds amazing. And then level 11 is a Blighted Wolf wild shape. That is a Plague Wolf upgrade. You gain a plus 15 combat style bonus, plus 5 when attacking flanking. Gains plus 1 imbue dice while in the swarm, plus 1 druid level, max 30% to movement speed. If you are unarmed, your natural attacks do a 1d10 damage, but do both piercing and slashing, and critical hits for triple damage on a 19 or a 20. You are considered a magical beast, and wolf spell access, same with the Blighted Wolf as well.
All right, now I have a question. It says plus 1 per level bonus to movement speed. I thought that epic levels didn't count as class levels.
These aren't epic levels.
Yes, but the point is if there are only 20 levels of druid class that you can have, then how can you have greater than 20?
Ooh, that is a good question. Somebody smarter than me is going to have to answer that question because, yeah, I thought I knew how that worked, but apparently I don't. So, podcast@ddoplayers.com.
Okay.
Tell me how dumb I am and tell me it works this way, dummy. Then level 13, another wild shape. It's a Thorn Knight. It's going to upgrade to the Thornkin. Then we have another one, Hive Master. You become one with the swarm. Your body shifts between yourself and a cloud of insects as you merge in and out of the swarm. Okay, that sounds pretty creepy and pretty awesome at the same time.
Oh, if you're a club of insects, you wear the tags.
Oh, maybe. Then there is a lot of other spells and other skills. We're not going to go over all this or we would be here all night. Check out the notes. But yeah, this sounds pretty cool, actually. I am slightly interested to check one of these out as well. Not as much as the Ranger, but what are your thoughts on this? This is kind of, again, more me than you, I think.
This is something that I was toying with the idea for a little bit, I think, when it was first announced, but I think I'd rather stay with my Storm Singer than try this class.
I could see that. The Dark Hunter Ranger.
The Dark Hunter Ranger, yes. The one that, as soon as I read it, I was like...
Oh, yeah. It's totally me.
You're always torn between playing a ranger and a rogue.
I am. A lot of most of the time I play, I'm like ranger, rogue, ranger, a ranger rogue combo.
Yeah, and here's one now for you.
Again, somebody is living at SSG is apparently invading my thoughts, have a spy device in my house or something. I'm not sure how this happened, but I'm all here for it.
And they threw in some assassination skills to boot.
They did. Yeah, this is so awesome. Yes, this is going to replace the Arcane Archer. The themes are assassination, yes. Sneaking, yes. Hunting, okay. Trap making, sure. Scavenging, okay. Throwing weapons, okay. But yes, the feats and the features of this are trap finding 1, trap making 3. Trap sense is a +1. It's the same as the rogue as the barbarian. Sneak attack dice, 1d6. Every 5 levels instead of every 2 means that you get half of the sneak attack dice rogue does. 5d6 instead of 10d6, which is okay, because to be honest, when I'm playing a rogue and a ranger, either one are my combos that I do, I usually don't sneak that much. I'm not a big sneak attack person. I mean, I do sometimes because I do like assassination, but yeah. Then you get all favorite enemy feats that are not vermin, elf, aberration, animal, humanoid, or monstrous humanoid. So you're going to get a ton of favorite enemies. You do get some spells added as well. In the core, or actually, before I get onto that, you do get open lock and disable device as class skills, which is amazing to me because a lot of the times, if I am playing a ranger, I have like a little rogue build that I slash in so I can still do traps. So to get those as a class skill, yes, please. Because it costs a lot to not get them as a class skill. So yeah, I am all for this.
Yeah. Now I should note that on the Lamannia build, it looks like that was a little bit off what they did there, but looks like they even put that on the issues it looked like. So
yeah. Well, once again, keep in mind this is past one. Right. The shit all change. You get on the core 1, you get the Underdark Stalker. You are going to gain a +5 hit points and +1 reflex saving throw per core ability you take in the tree. Core 3 is On the Hunt. When you strike someone with weapons, you gain a +1 dodge for 5 seconds, and that does stack 3 times. Core 6, you get smoke traps. You throw a smoke grenade at a target. If they fail a fortitude save, DC 20 plus your dex modifier, plus your assassination, plus your trap DCs, they will lose their immunity to sneak attack and 25% of their fortification for 25 seconds. 12-second cooldown on that one. Yeah, that's a biggie. And it's only in Core 6, which probably shouldn't be that hard to get to. Core 12, Escape Through the Dark. Whenever you become invisible, your sneak attack dice are briefly doubled. This lingers for 5 seconds after you become invisible and may only trigger once every 60 seconds. Core 18. Oh, you want to say something about that?
No, actually, the previous one is, this might be the reason why the other set of notes, baseline notes, they had the smoke grenade issue.
Oh, maybe.
Because it looks like a smoke trap is effectively a smoke grenade.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, it pretty much is. Escape Through the Dark is at core 12. No, we already read that. I'm sorry. Deathstalker is the core 18, 25% sneak speed. And then while you're sneaking, +5 enhancement damage bonus to melee, ranged, and unarmed attack. This will linger 10 seconds after you leave stealth. Note, it does not stack with the Resentless Fury item affix. That is a mouthful. Hunter in the Dark, core 20, +2 dex, intelligence, and wisdom, +10 double strike and double shot. Oh my god, +10 double shot. Yes, please. +10 melee and range power. You call the weak bonus now applies against enemies that are blinded. At tier 1, you gain a Dark Wolf, which is a black wolf as an animal companion. Each rank also gives you +5 HP. Yes, I'm going to be running around with the Dark Wolf a lot, so get used to it. You'll see it a lot. And then as the tiers go up, your wolf gains stuff. You also gain more in your sneak attack and then your assassination DCs as well.
Yeah, I noticed I saw one of the people complaining about the Dark Wolf. saying he
Really?
didn't like it. He didn't like it. And he wanted it to be replaced with something else.
What's wrong with the Dark Wolf? I mean, I actually haven't seen it yet or whatever, but that sounds awesome as hell. What's wrong with Dark
Yeah.
Wolf?
Oh, he thinks it becomes useless at higher levels.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me look up at the higher levels and see. I mean, I don't think it's useless.
Well,
Of course, I don't play end game stuff. So, I mean, if you're
right.
if you're a hardcore player, maybe okay, because I'm sure you're gonna find some way to min-max this build, and you're gonna be able to do Reaper 10s with your eyes closed and one-handed, and your leg tied behind your head, and yeah. So, I mean, for those of us that play to have fun, not that I'm making fun of anybody that plays it. Hey, if that's your play style, good for you. That is not me. And I know that it's not Pinely. That is not the show. This is not the show for you if that is your play style. We are casual players. We
Definitely.
we don't min-max characters. We don't Zerg quest. We don't do any of this stuff. So we love all player types, though. I mean, if that's your play style, God love you, good on you. Not me, not my play style. I don't want to offend anybody when I say that. Each individual has their own play style. It's just not me. And then, as I said, you should know by now, that is definitely not the show. Because we are going to give you no tips on how to do that on the show. We're going to talk about how cool the Dark Hunter Ranger is on this show. So, welcome to the casual side of DDO, folks.
Yes, if you want a more hardcore style, you can listen to the Such and Such podcast.
Exactly, which right now we're the only DDO podcast, so they're stuck with us.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess while you were having your issues, you probably didn't hear. DDO Cast is no more for a while.
Oh.
Yes, Patrick, if you haven't heard, I guess we can talk about that for a quick second. Yes, Patrick has retired from DDO Cast. He felt like it was time. He's, busy with life and work like we all are. And it was just becoming too much for him. So he is looking for people to take that show over, which the last I heard, there possibly might be somebody that is going to take it over. So you can read more about that over. I'll link it in the show notes. He put up a post on the fan forums about it. But just right now in public, for the record, I want it to be recorded. Good on you, Patrick. Thank you for all of your years on DDO Cast. He did 9 years and about 400 episodes.
Whee!
Which is amazing to host and produce a show, because as someone that does this, I know how hard a work a podcast is, and to do it for 9 years and 400 episodes, good job, Patrick. And I'm sure all the community thanks you and is going to miss you. He's still playing the game. He's still playing. He's just life is kind of hectic for him right now with lots of things. And I mean, I get it. I understand it. That's why the show is kind of sporadic at times. But yeah, so for the time being, we're the only DDO show, Pinely. You're welcome, DDO community. I mean, you're welcome, I guess. So, until another one pops up, you're stuck with us. So we're glad you're here, though. So yeah, that's it. That is update 58 currently on Lamannia. Once again, this is build 1 running through the afternoon of Friday, June 20th. So as I said, by the time this episode release, you're probably going to miss it, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get the show out before Friday evening. So hopefully preview 2 we'll be able to get a little earlier in our recording, and I hopefully will be able to get on and actually check out the Ranger as well.
And maybe we'll know what the third
I would think
is.
Probably, in the second one, the third option would probably come. But spoiler alert, I told Pinely that he does realize this means we're going to have to roll new characters now, because I will be playing a Dark Hunter.
Then I had to decide what I would play then.
So yeah, so there will be some new, and I have another idea that involves some other people I play with. So I know one of them listens to the show. I don't know if the other two do, but I have ideas. So there will be Dark Hunter Rangers in my future.
Okay.
And we know there probably won't be in Pine Leaps, but that's fine.
Well, I was looking at it and I was thinking, okay, what are the odds I want to play this? I looked on it and think, well, I could get just about anything I really want out of the Dark Hunter Ranger by playing an Artificer.
True. Except assassinate people, but you probably wouldn't do that anyway.
Well, that's not on the top of my priority list.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Trust me.
Yeah.
I know. But you might have to start watching me do that, though, because I usually don't do it a lot when I'm on my Rangers when I'm with you. But now I might be like, hold on. Give me a second. I will take care of this problem quickly and quietly. So, yeah,
Yes.
I'm excited, to say the least. I know, shocking, I'm going to roll up another Ranger. Who would have thought?
I know.
Who would have thought?
Well, then, if that's the first of money, though, let's go and see what about our year in review, because 2022 was
It was a
quite
year.
eventful. Yes, it was a year, that's for sure.
It was a year. Yeah, this is, we're kind of late doing this, so we are kind of pivoting this and not doing this exactly how we usually do it. Usually we do like a deep dive in and we talk about every update and everything that came in every update. This time we're not going to do that. Number one, because we had all that Lamannia stuff to talk about. And if we would do the deep dive into this, it's going to be like a 2 or 3 hour show, and God knows nobody wants that. So, what we're going to do is just kind of like briefly, I'm just going to run down briefly what happened. Update 53 was a Hunter Hunted. Update 54 gave us the Tabaxi, and was the pre-order for Isle of Dread. Update 55 was Isle of Dread itself. Update 57 introduced the Archvillains and the Archetypes. Update 57 was the Grip of the Hidden Hand, which gave us the new 5 new quests at level 16 and 34. That also introduced the hit points rework and some imbue rework as well. So looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 updates. And of course there was patches to all these updates too. So it's not like this was the only 5 things that happened, but that was DDO in a nutshell. 5 updates. Big thing was the Isle of Dread. That was our new expansion that came out. And then I think the Archetypes and the Archvillains. And then also, I should have mentioned with that, in Update 56, that's when they also redid Temple of Elemental Evil as well. So that was pretty big as well. So overall, I think 2022 was pretty good for DDO, especially Isle of Dread. Like, personally for me, anytime we get a classic pack, I'm all for it. Because I know I've said it again, and I will probably say it until they make a sucky one. SSG has a knack for taking the classic packs and putting them into DDO and making them darn fun, but still kind of giving the I can't think of the word I want to use. You still kind of feel, if you played the pen and paper, it's familiar to you, but it's different because it's a video game, but yet you're like, oh yeah, I remember this. I can't wait to see what they did with this or how they handled this. So yeah, I love the way that they do classic packs, and I know I've said that several times on the show, and like I said, I will continue saying it until they absolutely screw one up. Which I hope they never do, so don't do that, SSG, but just saying. So anything particular about the year you want to say about before we go on to the next part?
Well, I'll say that the big thing to of note is that one of the things they did back in Update 53 was to make several of the classes and races free.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty huge. Yeah, that was during the 16th anniversary. So yeah,
Yep.
that was pretty huge too. That I think hopefully maybe brought some new players into the game too, because if somebody wanted to play one of those, they didn't have to like quote unquote buy into the game to do that. They could do it for free. So yeah,
Right.
so that was pretty amazing too. So yeah, there was a lot of good things in 2022, I think. So out of all the things that we just briefly talked about, like I said, where I apologize, we're not doing the deep dive like we usually do. Hopefully next year we'll go back into our deep dive if people are used to that. But so out of everything that happened in 2022, what was the best update of 2022 in your opinion?
I would have to say it's Isle of Dread because I've gone quite a bit in trying to battle against those dinosaurs and other terrors that happen in there.
Yep, hands down, I agree. Yep, I think the past couple of years we have matched on this. So yeah, update 55, Isle of Dread, hands down, my favorite thing of the year. So, thinking of not a quest or not a raid, which I know neither of us really raid, so that's not really an issue for us. I am soon to raid though. More on that later, I guess. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. What is the best thing that was added to DDO in 2022 that wasn't a quest or wasn't a raid?
In that case, I remember back when we were discussing archetypes, I was thinking, well, I think I was really getting excited over the monk paladin thing, but in the end, when I tried it out, it didn't quite suit me. But the Storm Singer, which I thought was going to be meh, I'm really loving the Storm Singer.
The Storm Singer is your Dark Hunter.
Well, we'll have to see if they wind up dangling something.
We'll see, but yeah. So we kind of matched on this. I didn't call one out in particular. I just think the archetypes as a whole was the best thing that they did that wasn't a quest to me, because I think it just opened up so much more options that you have for builds, for play styles, for anybody. So yeah, that's 2 for 2 that we matched on.
Okay.
Let's see if we can match on the next question. 2023 is upon us. So what are we most looking forward to in DDO, which we haven't seen a producer's letter yet, so we really have no idea what's coming. So this is kind of a shot in the dark.
Yeah. I'm guessing that they're going to have a roadmap soon because today the other game posted their roadmap for the year.
Okay, so yeah, I would think we would have one, and then I know they said February for the producer's letter. They left it vague at February. Could be early, could be middle, could be late. I mean, they have 28 days, so we'll see. So yeah, producer's letter sometimes in February, so we'll know more, and hopefully we'll get a roadmap. That'd be nice too. But just throwing a dart at a dartboard and picking something, what are we most looking forward to?
Well, in that case, I would have to say that would probably be the next classic adventure, because what else can we possibly give? It's either going to be that or whatever archetypes are coming up, and we already know what archetype you're anticipating.
Yeah. And before all this stuff was announced, I had said the next classic pack, whatever that's going to be, because I always enjoy the classic packs. But I'm going to change my answer to the Dark Hunter now. I really am.
Guaranteed.
I really am. I mean, I'm excited about the classic pack too. Don't get me wrong for that. But as soon as I read that Dark Hunter, I just started making plans for stuff. So yeah. So definitely going to say the next Dark Hunter, and hopefully we'll get more information on DDO in 2023 as a whole soon. Well, like you said, if Lotro had their roadmap. I would assume we would have a roadmap. And
Yeah.
as I said,
And
producer's letter in February, they said.
yeah, it did. And this roadmap thing, because there isn't currently a producer on Lotro.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, yes, our producer left, I think, late last
Oh.
year, and so Orion actually was the one who put out the roadmap. Because we know how Severlin is, he never has time to do those things.
Yeah, not really.
Right. So what they did is they had the roadmap put out today, and then tomorrow at noon they're going to have Severlin on the show to talk about them.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. So I don't know if they're going to do the same thing on DDO or if they have an actual producer still too.
Yeah, we do. We still have Tolero. Tolero's
Okay.
still the producer, and then of course Sevelin is the executive producer. So, yeah, I didn't realize Lotro didn't have a producer, but yes, Tolero is still the producer. So, and hopefully, I haven't actually scheduled anything or did anything about this yet, but hopefully after the producer's letter comes out, we will try to get Tolero back on again and chat with her about all the cool, exciting, upcoming stuff. And maybe we'll try to get Severlin back on, because it's been a long time since we've had him on. So, we'll try. So that is our abbreviated 2022 look back at DDO. It's a very different one this year, but there's a lot of reasons for that. But I hope you still enjoyed it. But I think as a whole, 2022 was good for DDO. So with that out of the way, we always set gaming goals for ourselves.
Right.
Why we do this, I have no idea. So we can hear how amazing Pine Leaf is and how bad I suck, apparently, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, last year, Pine Leaf had some goals for himself. So looks like, and I actually had to go to the old show notes to find these out, because I had thought I had saved them in a documents so I could do this easier, but I didn't. So I actually had to do some legwork to find these, but I found them. You had said a 10x10 campaign scenario games, 7 complete games.
No. What happened is that was supposed to be a 10x10 campaign scenario game. So this was a hardcore 10x10. And it was
got you. Okay.
10 games, 10 times each. And this was setting up on, some of them are reasonable ones to do, and some of them were some really difficult campaign ones that I had not yet really played the game much anyway. So committing to play that game 10 times turned out to be maybe wasn't the best idea that I had there. So I managed to finish 7 of those 10. So I didn't quite. So I did a 7x10 instead of a 10x10.
Okay, all right. And then I have no idea what this one is, because I do not remember. I should have went back and listened to the show. Reach H level 25?
Yes. What H level 25 means is that you want to have, from the time you started having your records done, play that your top 25 games, you've played each of them at least 25 times.
Okay.
Right. I think I started the year at 20, so the goal was to reach 25, which I managed to do.
All right. So you checked 2 of your goals off, which nobody is shocked at this. If you ever listen to our year-end roundups, Pinely does all of his goals every year. Don't know how you do it.
Well, remember, the 10x10 was not really complete because I only had it 2/3 done.
Oh, well, that's true. I guess you only had 7, but still 7 out of 10. That's not bad at all. 50 game challenge.
Yeah. Now this one was that we're given a series of prompts, 50 prompts, and we're to play a game that fit each of those prompts.
Oh, I remember you talking about this many times on the show, actually. Yeah.
Right. And I would say about 2/3 of the way through the year, this petered out. Where am I going to come up with a game that does this? Why bother?
Oh, they got harder as it went on?
Yeah, well, of course, because you...
Well, yeah, because, I mean, there's only so many themes or something you can pick from. And I guess if you have to do 50, yeah, that
Yeah,
That
it
would
has
be
50,
difficult.
and then you have them diminishing in there because you can't do the same game twice for different prompts.
Right. Okay.
So, so after I got 28 of them done, I sort of just forgot about it.
Still, I mean, 28. That's commendable, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's better than zero, that's for sure.
that is true. I mean, I probably would have had 0 done. So yeah, you will get through at least half of the Gloomhaven main campaign. That's a lofty goal for anybody, my friend.
I'll tell you right now, it is nowhere near happening.
I mean,
It didn't even come close.
at least you have opened up your Gloomhaven.
I did do that.
I still look at mine and I'm like, not today.
Yeah, I could understand it. Gloomhaven is very intimidating, which is probably why I never really got into it. Seems like Jaws of the Lion is the only form of Gloomhaven, because I guess because Jaws of the Lion is such a smaller box and it's a lot easier.
It's way less intimidating, for sure.
Way less into. In fact, I think last year I even got more Jaws of the Lion played than I had of the main Gloomhaven game.
Which I could see.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to make another committed goal that relates to Gloomhaven again.
Well, probably not a bad idea.
Right.
I would like to play it at least once, but yeah, I swear, every time I go to open it up, I'm just like, yeah, no, I can't.
Hello?
Frosthaven is just about as bad. My Frosthaven finally showed up.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody else was getting theirs. Mine took forever to get here, but yeah, I looked at that and I'm like, yeah, you're going up by Gloomhaven and you're going to sit on the shelf and look good.
No, when you say almost as bad, I'm not too sure the word almost is.
Not quite using the term almost correctly. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So yeah. So there they sat on their shelf of shame with thousands of other games, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Hardcore season, reach level 10.
I got to 9.
Congratulations. Good job. Good job.
What happened at level 9 is astonished me.
Please tell me you had an amazing death.
Yeah, I was. All right, it was on the Isle of Dread.
Okay, all right.
And I was doing the final dungeon of the Isle of Dread. Now, this is a dungeon that I had completed maybe once, maybe I can't remember if it was once or twice, successfully at level.
Okay.
So here I am, 2 levels above level, playing it at normal, and I got killed. Probably because everyone's laughing at me for trying this at hardcore.
What killed you?
It was the final boss.
Well, see, at least you made it to the final boss of the dungeon.
Yeah, it was the final boss.
Okay.
It was the final boss in the Isle of Dread. So yes, it is something. I mean, I certainly wasn't going to attempt to fight Zuggetmoy.
Oh, come on, why not?
Not on a hardcore server.
Well, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But well, congratulations for getting a 9, though. Good job.
I got the 9.
That's pretty impressive.
Probably better than I expected.
Yeah, no, that's really. I mean, good job. I'm glad. So that was your 2022 goals,
right?
My 2022 goals was make something up I'll never do here. Sure, I made something up and I didn't do it. So there you go.
You made your goal.
I made my goal. Yay. For once, I made my goal because, yeah, I had no goal. Yay for no goals. So we'll see about this year. We'll see. So Pine Leaf, 2023 is upon us. What crazy goals, what crazy Gloomhaven goal have you set for yourself this year?
I told you already, no Gloomhaven goals.
Spoiler, no Gloomhaven goals for Pine Leaf.
The closest thing I have to a Gloomhaven goal is that one myself. Right now, I have a goal that I'm going to be working on 10 BBG challenges.
Which is Board Game Geek for those
Board
that
Game Geek.
may not be familiar with that. Okay.
Yeah, 10 Board Game Geek challenges, year-long challenges that I'm going to be doing. My goal is to complete at least 6 of them.
Okay.
Now, I should note to you that number 10, that challenge is to complete at least 5 other challenges. So if I complete 5 challenges, then there'll be 6.
Okay. All right.
So some of the highlights of the ones in here is that there's one of them is the 100 game challenge. And what this is to play 100 different games. And now they do have a provision for that one because most Board Game Geek challenges, all the games you play are supposed to be board games.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, they do allow video games in there. So I divided it into 3 sections. Play 20 video games, 40 app-based board games, and 40 physical board games.
Wow. Okay. When you say play, what constitutes playing a game? What do you consider that you played a video game?
Oh, for a video game, for example, in DDO, if I play a couple of quests, that would be playing the game. If you play an hour-long session where you play at least 2 quests, or 2 or 3 quests, then that would be playing.
Like, yeah, I was going to say, for example, you load up, just whatever, game B or whatever. We won't name a game, and you load it up and you move your character around for like 2 minutes. Okay, I played that game. That doesn't count, right? Okay.
No.
Okay. That's what I wanted to see if there's a... And then I assume board games is the same way. You have to play it for so long.
Well, for board games, it's usually... It depends on the type of game. For what would consider to be a session for most people. For most games, there'll probably be one game. For example, in Wayfarers of the South Tigers, that takes 30 to 60 minutes to play. Yes, all right. One playthrough is fine on that. For Grove and Orchard, for example, usually I played the monthly challenge for that, and in Grove and Orchard, those can be, you can play a game in 5 minutes, but usually when you play that, you actually play 2 games in a row.
Okay.
My rule for Grove and Orchard is that when I'm playing standard Grove and Orchard, I will play 2 games in a row like that because they give you an 18-card deck and you use 9 at a time. So what you do is you mix up your cards. You use the first 9 for the first play and the second 9 for the second play. And that's the standard way of playing that game. So I consider the pair to be one game.
Okay.
And
that's a lofty goal, my friend.
Yeah. And now for one game I had, which is relatively quick, is a new game called Smitten. It's by Stonemeyer Games. I played it 3 times around. Consider that be one. Essentially, I did it until I played so many times I had to give up, or I actually managed to successfully win, is what I did. So I played it 3 times, finally got a win, and I considered that took me about half an hour. So I considered that to be a playthrough for that game.
A lofty goal you have set for yourself.
Yeah, we will see how that works in there. But I will say that circumstances for January have put me onto a good start for this particular goal.
Yes, it has.
Yes. So that was probably one good thing about the whole thing, is it certainly got me to get off the block quickly for that one. Now, the second one I have in here is to reach H-index 27. I talked 3 cubed because I had 3s as sort of a theme for some of the challenges I have here. So 3 cubed in there. So H level 27, as I said last year, I reached 25. So this year it's going to be 27. And there are a couple of games that I'm thinking that might be able to reach up into the 27 area. And those things I got up to 25 last year, I got to play at least twice. That means I do have to play Jaws of the Lion twice unless I find another game to replace it on the top of the list there. So that's the only Gloomhaven challenge I've got here, is to play Jaws of the Lion at least twice so that I can get it up to that 27.
Okay.
And then I have a 10. Do have a 10 by 10 challenge this year, but not a hardcore one. And the reason I'm saying this is last year, I told you how I did not get the 10 by 10 hardcore.
Right.
I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Looks like maybe 9 or 10 games that I played last year that were not on my hardcore list that I completed at least 10 times. So if I had done a non-hardcore 10 by 10, I would have completed that successfully. So I decided, all right, no hardcore 10 by 10s, especially with all the other challenges that I'm doing.
Yeah, I could see that because
yeah. But anyway, it's not the full list of all the challenges, but those are the 3 that first came to my mind on that.
Okay.
And my other challenge, I don't know how far we're actually going to get up on there, is to get my Storm Singer to level 20, which is going to be fine if Standing Stone Games doesn't give me a more enticing.
Wait to see what the third archetype is.
Right, yeah, but remember, also later in the year there might be other archetypes.
I mean, that's
archetypes
true.
that come out. It sounds like this is going to be a thing that they're going to be coming out with constantly, maybe.
Yep. It definitely, I think they're leaning towards that for sure.
Yeah, because it sounds like a way to add variety to the game without having to create whole new classes.
Right, exactly.
And also, that means also because in some ways they had some reminders of the iconic classes, but those started at level 15. I think the archetypes are a better way to handle that scenario than the
right. Yep.
Than the iconic classes were.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so yes, if they wind up giving a archetype that really grabs me by the throat and says, "No, you got to play this now. Don't forget about that crazy Storm Singer," then I might not be able to make it level 20. But my goal right now is to have my Storm Singer at level 20.
Do you know off the top of your head where you're at now with it? Roughly.
Right now, I'm at level 6.
Okay. All right.
Right, because I am getting prepped up for Isle of Dread, I guess. And my big thing is the doldrums that I sometimes get. I think around level 9-ish, I have some doldrums, which is probably one of the reasons why I got killed on the hardcore server. That's right. I think I was playing a Tabaxi Monk on the hardcore server. And the other one that I tend to have doldrums is around 17 or 18, I think, is when things get a little tough again.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah. So
I always find it considerably ramps up about then. That's when the challenge gets a little more difficult for sure.
Yeah. Now, my Storm Singer does have the advantage of having 1 past life, my current Storm Singer, because when I created that Storm Singer, it was actually one of my rare TR'd characters. I've only had 2 characters that have ever been TR'd, and the Storm Singer is one of them.
Look at you playing a TR'd character. They grow up so quick.
Yeah, they grow up so quickly. And I think that's it for my year's goals.
All right. Well, you have some lofty goals, so I can't wait to see what you do with your goals. As far as me, I was going to cop out actually and just do the same, make up something I'm never going to do. But I decided, you know what? No, I'm actually going to make goals this year.
Okay.
They're kind of vague goals, but I'm going to make goals this year. One of them not related to gameplay wise, but for the podcast, I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the show. I do want the podcast to be more consistent this year. So hopefully that will happen. There's a lot of factors that play into that. Work being one of them. Life in general being another. Myself being the big one. There's just a lot of factors that go into that, but not game wise. I do want the podcast to be a little more consistent this year. So hopefully we'll get better, But just personally, I want to thank everybody for sticking with us, even though we haven't been very consistent this year. You guys always listen, you always download, you always watch on YouTube, all of that. So thank you for that, and hopefully this year's going to be better.
We need it to be because they don't have DDO cast to fall back on.
Exactly. We're the only DDO podcast, so we have to be better. So there you go. It's going to force myself to make myself better. So we'll see. But yeah, gameplay wise, just play DDO more, because I really didn't play DDO a lot. I mean, I didn't really do a lot of stuff a lot, which there's a lot of factors that go into that. We won't discuss that because people probably don't care about that. But yeah, I just want to play DDO more. So that includes with you. I want to be more consistent about playing our weekly gameplay every week, or every other week at least. And with other people as well. I just want to play DDO more. So we'll see how that goes. I also want to play just other video games with my friends more, because I miss playing with my friends like Mythery and Lessa and Rent and Tay. And Saba. I miss playing online with those guys. So I want to play, not necessarily DDO, but we're going to play more 7 Days to Die. We're going to play maybe a new game. We might play an older game, but I just want to play more with friends. So we'll see. And then other side of that, my friends that live close to here and semi close to here that we try to get together with. I want to get together with them more, and I want us to play more board games together.
All right. Now, speaking of board games, I noticed that one of the items on your wish list on Steam was Undaunted Normandy, which has not yet been published.
Yes.
Or at least not on Steam.
It has not yet. I mean, the board game is out, but yes.
Yeah, the board game is out, yes. I've done Undaunted stuff. So I think that when that comes out, we should get together and try a session of that.
We should. I've never played it, but I heard that the Undaunted games are really fun, and I watched a couple of the teaser trailers they released for that, so it looks amazing. So yeah, I think we should. And
okay.
I did see, speaking of games that we should play together, Munchkin Digital is out now. And
yes,
I've
noticed
saw that you had that, and I have that, so that's something else that we need to do.
Okay.
So yeah, there's my goals. I just want the podcast to be more consistent. Want to just play more games in general. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, a lot of factors go into that, but I actually made goals for myself this year. Damn it!
Ooh.
So we'll see what happens.
Very well then. Let's go and see what's on the tabletop now. Where the Lord of the Rings, The Adventures to Mount Doom is coming from Cosmos. And this is a roll and move game?
Yes, which is weird for Cosmos, but here we are. It's a roll and move game. It's releasing Q2 of 2023. Players head off on Frodo's quest to destroy the One Ring in the fiery belly of Mount Doom. The players will assume the role of the Fellowship and move each individual member across the landscape of Middle-earth on the game board. They are going to travel through a lot of the famous Middle-earth landmarks from Tolkien lore on the quest. Out of the way a while, you're going to avoid the Nazgul. The movement of the characters will be determined by a colored dice that represents the number of spaces each player can move on a particular turn. And then you have a black dice that you roll, and that is going to trigger threats and encounters that will occur along your way. You're going to have an encounter deck card that will pull. That you'll pull from for those. First player to get to Mount Doom is going to win the game. 1 to 4 players, 10 and up, about 50 minutes, $49.95 retail on it.
Hold on.
Yes.
This is a competitive.
It is a competitive game.
It is a competitive roll and move game, and they're going to try and find some way to make me in any slightest way interested in this.
I was going to ask you about that because you're not a big competitive person, but yeah, I figured the Lord of the Rings thing might lure you in a little bit.
No,
but we'll see. We'll see. I did find out today from my rep over at Cosmos. She did email me and wanted to make sure I was still at the same address because they are going to send this to us. So, look for a review and an unboxing and all of that coming to the site whenever. It's not going to be for a while because it's not releasing until Q2 2023, so it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
But,
well, good thing that they're not having me review it because I don't think they'll ever send us anything again.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. So, yeah, we'll see. It's just interesting because I was trying to think. I don't think Cosmos has ever done a roll and move game. Ever. That I can think of. So, it sounds interesting. Question mark. I guess I'm going to have to see it and play it. It sounds interesting, but it sounds odd all in the same breath, if that kind of makes sense. So we'll see. So yeah, Lord of the Rings Adventures to Mount Doom from Cosmos coming Q2.
Then let's go and find out what's on the screen. Where the Wizards of the Coast has supposedly canceled 5 of the video games that they had planned.
I don't even know where to start with this. In another one of Wizards' wonderful news, they've decided to do, if you follow any of the news, you know what I'm talking about. There's more on that later. Because remember, it was late. I can't remember if it was late last year, early this year. Chris Cox from Wizards had said, we've got like 7 games planned. We have all these video games planned and we have all these plans to do all this video games. Yeah, not anymore. This came to us from Bloomberg. Bloomberg did reach out for them for clarification on this. And all they said was, we remain committed to using digital games as a cornerstone of our strategy for bringing our games to players around the world. We made some changes to our long-term portfolio to focus on games which are strategically aligned with developing our existing brands. In other words, PR speak. They didn't answer the question, which Wizards is good at here lately. Thanks, Hasbro. Thanks.
It sounds like something that came out of a politician.
Yeah. So we don't know what games have been canceled. All I could find out is I looked. Baldur's Gate 3 is still in current early access. It is fine. It is going nowhere. So there still will be a Baldur's Gate 3. It's planned. The actual final release of it is planned for this year still. So that hasn't changed. So they didn't touch Baldur's Gate 3. And then the only other game that we really knew about that I think is still in development from what I could tell is there was going to be an open world D&D game that was kind of sort of announced. It wasn't really officially announced, but they did say Hidden Path Entertainment was working on a D&D open world game. That is still in development, I think, as they have job listeds posted on their website for a game that sounds suspiciously like this open world D&D game. So those are the only 2 games that I know for sure are still in development.
So in other words, that the 5 they canceled were the 5 that no one knows anything really about.
Right, because that's all they said was they had 7 or 8 games coming out. And then we only knew about Baldur's Gate 3, and then we kind of knew about this open world game. There really hasn't been an official announcement about it. It was just kind of, we're working on an open world D&D game. Think Skyrim, but actually D&D. That's what this game is supposedly supposed to be, but I don't know. Hasbro will find a way to screw that up.
Skyrim and D&D?
Yeah, that's the best analogy that they could come up with, because when you say open world games, usually people think about Skyrim. So it's basically going to be Skyrim, but it's going to be set in the D&D universe. It's like an officially licensed D&D game, but it's all going to be all open world. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Okay, not Skyrim as in the world as in Tamriel or anything like that. Okay.
No. It's like set in like the Forgotten Realms, set in well, I mean, they haven't said. I don't know where. I assume it's going to be Forgotten Realms, because God forbid we go to any other place in D&D lore.
You mean like Erebor?
Yeah, well,
or Ravenloft?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, okay. I guess Ravenloft isn't exactly the most open world place.
Right. True. So there we go. So apparently, if you got your hopes up of playing 7 new D&D games, sorry, Hasbro screwed that for you. You're welcome.
Well. Then I guess it's time for us to head into our week in gaming. And I was wondering, though, before we go into our week in gaming...
Yes.
There is something conspicuous that is not mentioned here. I guess you decided not to talk about it?
No, we're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about it in another podcast.
Okay. Oh, it's going to take us so much time.
The elephant in the room is going to be a whole podcast.
Okay. Then let's into our week in gaming. Jirak, what were you up to?
I played games. Oh my God. Exactly. I played DDO, so there you go. Already, I'm doing good on my goals. Yay. Did with Patrick, Saphira, and Beavis. We ran through Ravenloft or Reapers and the Pursuit Crest of the Desert. We're doing Reapers. Patrick's goal is to drag me through, and when he says drag, he actually means drag, because he Zerg's quest and I barely know what's going on, and we finish the quest and I'm like, sweet, I gained another level. So yeah. So I'm Zerging through DDO with Patrick. It's interesting because I don't really know what's going on, but it's cool. His goal is to get me into raids. That's his whole crazy goal to do this, is to get me to raids. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, so like I said, we did all of Ravenloft and Deserts, and right now we're doing them on Reaper 1. I think eventually we're going to start moving up Reaper levels, but we'll see. I am still nervous about doing 1, but I must admit, so far it has not been bad. I have not died to well, I take that back. I did die to 1 Reaper. Most of my deaths has been like stupidity on my part. So it hasn't been too bad so far, but we'll see how it goes the higher levels that we get. Then play D&D. We did Waterdeep Dwarves. We are still in Undermountain. We're on our way to kill Xanathar the Beholder. Yes, we're the crazy people that are going to kill Xanathar for reasons. But we about got our butts handed to us by vampire spawns. That was, I think, Beaker, I don't know if he's still listening or not, but he'll probably listen to this afterwards if he's still not listening to the show. This might have been one of the tougher fights we have done in Undermountain so far. It was a tough fight. We took a lot of damage. It took a lot out of us to fight these stupid vampire spawns, so we'll see. Video games. I played some video games. See, so I'm already doing well on my list, and we're only in, the 3rd week of 2023? Look at me go. I'm torturing myself for some reason, though. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but the 2 video games I played, people are probably like, why did you do that to yourself? And I really don't have an answer. I played Darkest Dungeon. This I can actually blame on my friend, though, because he got it for his Switch, and he was talking about it, and I'm like, Darkest Dungeon? I played that a long time ago. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have Darkest Dungeon. So I reinstalled it. I have it on the computer, not the Switch, but I reinstalled it, and I started playing the game. Oh my God, that game is hard. And if you're not familiar with what Darkest Dungeon is, it's basically a roguelike. You explore dungeons. It's really hard. You die a lot. You're supposed to die. It's hard. It's tough. It's one of those games that force you to rage quit, which I haven't yet. I came close. Speaking of rage quit, though, I'm also started Elden Ring. I know I'm late to the Elden Ring party, but here we are. This is a Souls game, so if you're familiar with Souls games, it's hard, stupid, dumb hard. You die a lot, and a lot, and a lot, and a lot. And I've died a lot. I've managed to take out a couple of the bosses, but I'm stuck on one of the bosses. And yeah, screw that game. It's hard, super hard. I did play a couple other games, but I can't remember off the top of my head what they were now. So that's basically it. So yeah, so I played games. So go me. 2023 ain't looking so bad after all. We'll see how we'll see how the rest of it goes.
We'll see how the rest of it goes.
A lot goes into that. A lot. But we'll see. So finally, how about you?
All right, I'll begin with the DDO, where my Storm Singer was running the Iron Mines in the Sorrow Dusk Isles, just gaining a little experience, so that'll be ready for the Isle of Dread, which I'm hoping to start soon. Then ESO, my main character was battling an evil band of druids who wanted to summon a nature spirit for reasons that I don't think we ever really found out, but we're pretty sure it was for nefarious reasons.
Before you go on, two things. Number one, Evil Beaker. I can speak, really, I can. I need to stop drinking my barley pop, apparently. Evil Beaker also played DDO with us. I apologize. I forgot he was there. He joined us towards the end. So thank you, sir. And then I always forget about Sorrow Dusk Isle. All the time I forget about Sorrow Dusk Isle. I have not ran Sorrow Dusk in forever.
Yeah.
And then he also said he is cluing me in on a little DM magic. The vampire spawns we fought that were so hard, that was a random encounter. We about got killed to a random encounter. That's how D&D goes. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, well.
Go on.
And as for board games, I played a huge number of board games these last couple of weeks because internet issues, and if you're having trouble with the internet, what do? You play board games, right?
Exactly. Who needs the internet? You have board games.
Right. So of all the board games that I did play, and there I would say that the highlight there was Cascadia, because I finally got around to playing Cascadia. That is something that we were discussing way back when they announced the Spiels the Yard winners and all earlier from last year. So I did eventually buy the game, and I finally got around to playing it. So I have a feeling that's going to be popping up on my table quite a bit in the future. And that's it for my list of games for this particular week. And so we currently have 13 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you go to the donations page. We can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money may be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. And if you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. And remember, the Players Alliance has 2 shows. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we record DDO Players News, or at least whenever track is available. And on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Vote Players News. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Punk Mules reminding you to quest responsibly.